So the news just dropped that a load of former OpenAI employees are threatening to leak confidential secrets to the public. The list is composed of a combination of former OpenAI employees and current employees, with 13 people on the list and 7 of them choosing to give their names, while the other 6 decided to remain anonymous. Together have released an open letter called A Right to Warn About Advanced Artificial Intelligence. So today we'll be answering these questions. Is there anyone of significance on this list? What information could they give to the public that we don't already have? And what does this mean for OpenAI? Let's take a look into this. So whose name is actually on this list? Well, straight off the bat we see Daniel Kokotajlo, who we have previously spoken about on this channel, and he was the one who was working at OpenAI working on the risk management team when he suddenly quit, claiming that he didn't have the confidence that OpenAI would behave responsibly around the time of AGI. And as we know from recent news, this kind of thing happening isn't out of the ordinary anymore. There have been countless employees that have quit for various reasons, many of which to do with OpenAI not being responsible with AGI. As well as Daniel, another name of note is Jacob Hilton, who says that in order for OpenAI and other AI companies to be held accountable to their own commitments on safety, security, governance and ethics, the public must have confidence that employees will not be retaliated against for speaking out. Essentially saying here that he wants to be able to talk about what's happening behind closed doors, and he thinks the public have a right to know, and employees shouldn't be penalized for spreading this information. So what kind of information could these people leak? Well, it's important to note that these employees are not exclusively from OpenAI, 2 of them being involved with Google DeepMind and 1 of them being involved with Anthropic, and the whole basis of this open letter is about advanced artificial intelligence, and essentially what they say is that advanced AI poses a huge risk to the human race, even saying, and I quote, "to the loss of control of autonomous AI systems potentially resulting in human extinction," stating that these AI companies have acknowledged these risks, which we already knew of course. And across all these major AI players, there's obviously information behind closed doors that we in the public don't know anything about, whether that be a GPT model that's already at the point of AGI or anything up to that point. But essentially they state these terms, and they say that they want all these advanced AI companies to commit to these principles. And the principles are as follows. Number 1 is that the companies do not retaliate for any risk-related criticism, because companies don't like to be criticized on being dangerous, as it may hurt their profits, as mentioned here. Number 2 says that the companies will facilitate a verifiably anonymous process for current and former employees to raise risk-related concerns to the company's board. So they're suggesting that everyone who works there or has worked there and has anything to say about the risks is able to chip in for the company as a whole to talk about, so everyone's concerns are heard and considered. Number 3 says that the company will support a culture of open criticism, so quite similar to the first point there. And then 4 states that they want the company to not retaliate against any current or former employees who publicly speak out. So basically what they're saying here is that they want to be able to speak out about what's happening. So what does this mean for the future of OpenAI and these large AI companies in general? Well, if any of these AI companies agree with these terms, then this group of employees will begin to talk about what they wanted to. But that being said, it does seem incredibly unlikely that any of the AI companies will actually agree with these terms, because the summary of what they've said is that they're only going to really speak out if they're given permission. This does seem a little bit disingenuous, because they're basically coming out and saying this technology is so dangerous that the public needs to know about it. There's a very real risk to the human race, but they're not willing to talk about it because of the risk to them personally. So either they just care more about the risk to themselves, or the risk regarding AI isn't that big of a deal. I can't see any other way this could be played. But having said that, even if none of these people speak out immediately, it's likely that someone will eventually. Especially if what they're seeing is really that important to talk about, then it's very likely that someone will speak out in due time. I mean, this whole thing basically says to OpenAI and the other companies that you're in charge and we can't really do anything unless you let us. So we'll have to wait and see how this plays out. But that's all for this one, so if you're still listening, I really appreciate you. Like and subscribe if you can, it really helps me out, and thanks for watching.